First, I want to take a moment to remind everybody that I am sponsored by G Fuel Energy. I do have my own code. Use code REID, R-E-I-D, on gfuel.com for any and all G Fuel related purchases. If you guys want to get cracked like me in Warzone, this is the way to do it. This is what I do. Hey, yo, what is going on, YouTube? It is your boy Reed, the #1 console player in the world, and I'm back with a new updated Warzone Pacific Season 2 settings video. So a lot of people have been asking me recently with the new season, have any of my settings changed since the last video? And spoiler, not much has changed if you've seen the last video, but if you guys are new, this is going to be breaking down all of my settings that the #1 console player in the world uses while playing on his PS5 in Warzone. So let's get right on into the breakdown. For controller, button layout, I play on Bumper Jumper Tactical, so this started way back in the jetpack era of Call of Duty when it became very important to not take your thumb off the thumbstick while jumping around the map and flying around the map, and I couldn't convince my parents back in high school to let me spend $200 on some kind of fancy controller, so I just learned how to play on Bumper Jumper Tactical, and after years of doing that, I'm just used to it. Even though down the road I did end up buying a fancy $200 controller, I still play on Bumper Jumper because it's just muscle memory and I'm used to it. This is personal preference on what you like, but if you do not want to spend a large amount of money on a fancy controller, again, it is important to be able to not take your thumb off the thumbstick when being able to jump around or slide around. Bumper Jumper Tactical is definitely, or regular Bumper Jumper, is definitely a great idea for that. Stick layout preset, default, invert look, disabled, not for me. Left stick, minimum input dead zone, 0.03, that was default value for me. Right stick, left stick minimum input's not as important. Right stick one is. This is essentially how precise you can be. You always want a lower dead zone. A lower dead zone is better. 0 is a little too low, I think. 0.03 is kind of like the default on all the controllers that they've always been. And even though a lot of people will say, well, if your stick starts drifting a little bit, just turn it up. I don't really like that because almost never is a stick drift going to actually affect your gameplay. It's just going to affect you if you're sitting still, not holding your controller. So I usually, if my stick does start drifting too much where it becomes a problem, rather than upping my dead zone and affecting my aim, I just end up buying a new controller. But you can turn it up if you need to for your personal controller. A lot of people say that if you open up your mini map and your stick doesn't move, that's the dead zone you should be on. Turn your dead zone all the way down until it moves, and then go one up from there. Left stick maximum input. This is for your maximum range of motion. On some of my controllers recently, I struggle to sprint. Like my controller, kind of stutters a little bit when I'm running my broken controller, so I need to get new ones. One thing I've been trying to fix that. I'm not sure if this works fully yet, but I tried turning down the maximum input a little bit just to give you that an idea if that is happening to you. But for now, normally I play on the maximum values for both of these to give you the maximum range of motion. Sensitivities: 7 horizontal, 5 vertical. This thought process started back in the jetpack era, right after that actually. I used to play on a 7 sensitivity in the jetpack Call of Duties, and then when World War II came out and you no longer had to look all over the place, up, down, left, and right for people flying all over, and you never had to look up more than to like a second, maybe a third story window, I was like, alright, let me try turning my vertical sensitivity down, help with recoil control, help with shooting people off of head glitches. Also, it helps a lot with sniping and, aiming higher, not necessarily getting hit markers. I like it. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend this for anybody now with Warzone because you do have people literally flying in the sky, and you do have tall buildings and giant hills. You do have to look up and down a lot. So I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend this for somebody, but it's something for you to try if you like it. Again, I always tell people not to change your sensitivity around too much. Pick a setting that you like somewhere and stick with it. Don't change it. So I've been on this for years and haven't changed it, and that's part of why my aim is so good. Custom sensitivity per zoom. This you have a lot of fine-tuned customizable options here. I just went with the standard that was in the past of low zoom 0.8, high zoom 0.9. Your higher zoom scopes are a 0.9 ADS value. Your lower zoom are 0.8. This is a lot of personal preference. I would recommend you don't get too much into this, and you definitely, once you pick something you like, you don't want to switch it around too much because that will affect your aim just a little bit and how long it takes you to get used to something. Aim response curve linear. This is personal preference. All three of these, neither one is better or worse than the other. It's just personal preference and how your thumbstick responds to you moving around and how your aim works. I personally like the way linear works. Most people prefer dynamic. Some people prefer standard. It's just personal preference, whatever you like. Don't Don't listen to anybody who says that one is literally better than the other, because that's not how it works. Controller vibration, I'm one of the only people that plays with vibration enabled. I've never played a game ever without vibration on. It just feels weird to me, so I keep it on. Most people will tell you to turn it off. Aim assist disabled. Aim assist for cheaters. All the mouse and mouse and keyboard players always say that. You know, don't cheat. We don't gotta cheat around here at twitch.tv/readboy. Weapon mount shared input, ADS and melee. This is how I mount. I have a back button on the back of my controller. That's the melee button that I can use to mount up on a wall without having to take my thumb off the thumbstick. I can just move away to unmount. Aim down sight behavior, hold, steady aim, equipment, all three of those hold. Contextual tap, now this is an important setting. You want to have contextual tap on. It will take a second to get used to if you do not already have this on, but this literally allows you to grab things off of the ground faster. I played for the longest time without it on. I'm like, nah, it doesn't take that long to just hold square. It's not that big of a deal. No, you can literally grab stuff off of the ground faster by having contextual tap on. You definitely want to put this on and definitely want to get used to it. Depleted ammo weapon switch. Yeah, when I run out of ammo, I want to swap guns so I don't stay with no ammo in my gun. Armor play behavior. Apply all. I like this one because then if you are running in the open and if you run in and armoring and you accidentally slip up and your finger falls off the triangle button or the armor button, it doesn't cancel your armor animation. So I like this. Just go ahead and apply all at once. No harm. Worst case scenario, if I have to stop armoring, I can just press triangle again to stop armoring. Movement slide behavior, tap to slide. This is important to help with your movement. You don't have to hold it, and it doesn't take as long to react when you're trying to slide cancel around the map. Auto move forward. I don't like this one. Tactical sprint. I like single tap to run. I did try this for a little while, but it still does. It does wear and tear your controller noticeably faster than simply just playing on automatic tactical sprint. And your movement does feel just next level faster with auto tac sprint on. It is just important. It is too important for me to have good movement and use auto tac sprint than it is to worry about not being able to walk forward. Vehicle camera recenter disabled, parachute auto deploy. Disable that. This is going to allow you to get closer to the ground before your character automatically pulls his parachute. You are going to break your ankles a couple times. I break my ankles all the time on stream. It's just a necessary sacrifice to be able to get to the ground, to grab the guns first, to not be just a floating sitting duck in the sky. Graphics, camera movement, turn that down. You don't want your camera shaking around. Safe area is specific to your screen. Motion blur, disable both those. Film grain, turn it all the way down. Dismemberment, gore effects, I'm not 12, I'll turn that up. Brightness, I think before I was playing on a higher sensitivity. I recently got a new monitor, and this monitor came with a lot more customizability and a lot more settings. So I think I turned my brightness down to 60 on this one, and things look way better. On-demand texture streaming, I think this one more so has to go with your internet specifically and how good your internet is. I have the top quality internet that I can get in my area. I don't have any struggle downloading stuff in high quality, so I turn this on and turn it all the way up. Some people have said if you have texture issues or rendering issues or freezing issues on console, if you turn this off, it will help. I tried that in the very, very few issues that I've had in the past, and that didn't make any difference, so I don't know. I think this just more so has to do with your internet. Interface, subtitles disabled, language English, Terranopia. So some people point out how my colors look a little differently than everybody else. I just play on a different colorblind type. Set that to both, so it's both in the menus and in game. There's no real reason for this. I just kind of like the colors being different. Tooltips enabled. Minimap, square. I troll a lot of people. I say circle minimap's better sometimes. That's a troll. Square, definitely better. You can quite literally, as you can see in this picture, see more of your minimap. Minimap rotation, personal preference. I like it rotating with me as I'm moving. Compass. Yeah, when somebody calls out east, I don't specifically want to look for a number. You will see me look into the top of my screen when my teammate calls out, he's east 70, he's east 70. I will literally look up and spin in a circle to find out where east is. So I need those compass letters for me. Letters, exactly. Kill feed duration. So this is a super minor pro tip right here. I turn the kill feed duration to 60 seconds. It takes you about 60 seconds from when you get knocked to bleed out. To bleed all the way out if you don't get another bullet put in you. It takes you about 60 seconds, maybe not exactly. So if you down somebody and you don't put another bullet into them and you can still see their name in the kill feed, they have not bled out yet. If you can still see their name, they definitely haven't bled out. So they might still be down somewhere. If their name is gone off the kill feed, they were either rezzed or self-rezzed or got away, and you shouldn't worry. You should be prepared for them to be up and ready to shoot back at you. This is a new setting for the new season. Always show vehicle controls. I only have this set to air. When you're in air, there are literally two different types of controls: regular and advanced. I swap between both of them while flying in planes. So I like to know which one I'm on because sometimes it can be kind of hard to tell. So I just turn this on. I've only used it a little bit. I haven't really gotten in planes too much since they nerfed them. Text chat, I want it enabled always. I like talking shit to people, but a lot of people like to say no words, so I got to keep the filter on. No sound alerts, no chat duration popping up in game. And then this is something else. This is something that I also think is new with the new season, is in-game alert icons. I haven't noticed in the past, and I've had this disabled, but I don't really want these popping up on my screen. It doesn't really help me out too much. Audio. So I need to preface this. I need to let you guys know I can't hear a thing in this game. Like that. Like I've never ever been good at sound whoring footsteps and listening to footsteps. I just never something I've been good at, which is why I can't stand when other people do it to me because it's something I can do. So I don't necessarily say that these are the best settings, but these are just what I use. Audio mix, boost high. I've tried boost high. I've tried boost low. I've tried boost. I've tried all three of these. I don't think either one is better than the other for hearing footsteps specifically. I just think it's just kind of personal preference, whatever sound you prefer. I just went with boost high. I kind of like the way that one sounds better. Again, not one of these is better than the other. Anybody who says that one's better, they're not telling the truth, brother. Master volume 60. Don't have your master volume set to 100 unless you can like turn it down and it's not too loud in your ears. It ain't worth going deaf over playing a video game in the year 2022. It's not worth it, so just turn your volume down a little bit. Music volume, I only turned that up to 25 for the sake of this video, so it's not quiet in the background when I pause to talk. Normally, I play with music volume down to 5, just a little something so you can know when the intense moments are happening, but you don't want this music playing in your ear when you're trying to listen to important things. Dialogue volume, this is the voiceover audio, the guy talking in your ear. Hostile dropping in the AO, you definitely want that. You don't want this overpowering footsteps, but you do want to know if somebody's landing in on you. Effects volume, I was told that this is footsteps. The longest time I played with this one, like at 50, somebody told me that this volume specifically affects footsteps, so turn it all the way up. Can't confirm or deny if that's true or not, but that's what I do. And then cinematics is only campaign, leave it, I left it at whatever. Juggernaut music enabled, doesn't really matter to me. Hit marker sound effects, I like the classic sound. Mono audio, I got that disabled, so the 100 doesn't matter. Voice chat, I love hearing death comms. I know some people don't. Some people turn them off because people do like to be weird and say no words, which is why I have the voice chat volume turned down a little bit. So hopefully if somebody's saying something, I can at least yell and talk over it so people don't have to hear it. Mic volume, I can't talk in game chat, so that doesn't matter. Classic chatter, I like, a lot of people say, why does everybody you kill, why does their mic sound so bad? It's because I got classic chatter. I like those classic MW2 throwback mics. I like the way they sound, hence my mic kind of sounding like this as well. So that's just personal preference on what you prefer there. 4-tracks passenger, I like hopping in a helicopter and hearing a little bit of music. It's very easy to turn it off. And that about finishes it. That is all the settings that I have in Warzone Season 2. Let me know if you guys like or are using my settings. If you don't agree with something and what your reasoning is, let me know how you guys feel in the comments. Appreciate you guys watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new. I am out. You guys have a good one.